G'day, everybody, and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. This podcast is proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. You do ute. Today on the show, it's the 2-minute warning leading into grand final week. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Leave us a rating, leave us a review, and tell your mates. I don't know how many episodes we're going to do after this, but tell them anyway. It's grand final week. Get around it. All right, get stuck in. This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Jackson Barrett. What's going on, gentlemen?
Well, me and Jacko have spoken already, and we're too scared to set it to you. But there's no. What are we doing a 2-minute warning on every club for? Why am I in grand final week wasting time on bottom 10 teams?
Because it's trades, mate. It's trades. People love the
There's
trade
no
stuff.
trades.
There's been a bit of buzz, but yeah, no. There were a couple I struggled with this week.
Jacko rolled in and goes, "Gee whiz, today was tough."
It was a little bit.
I'm stretching for a couple here.
I was a
bit
bee's dick from just saying, mate, why don't we just do a little 30-minute grand final job?
Grand final special.
News, grand final. But I know, let's rack in or whatever you say. What do you say? Let's hook in.
Get stuck in.
Get
Stuck in.
I can't remember. It's just,
Let's rack in.
Let's rack in.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not.
That's a different show.
Yeah, that's the after hours.
So, quick fire on the. Although I'm definitely going to steal someone's point here. Oh no, it's Brisbane. Surely there'd be more than one. Brownlow, bizarre. That was one of the more bizarre counts I can remember.
Well, which part got you?
Both in terms of some of the votes, with some of the bigger outliers I've sort of ever seen. I think there was a bigger collection of outlier votes than that we've seen previously.
Are we just looking closer at game by games than we ever have before?
Perhaps.
Like
Information's the Coaches Association Award is the last 2 years been graded as I think people are starting to look at it and go, well, that's probably the best award.
Champion Data have a Brownlow algorithm now, which people take as gospel.
And we have KO or 7 catch up to get the actual games to go.
Yeah. And all that
hang on, I'm
information's
going to have a quick geezer at
the Horn Francis one. People
that's
went
the
back
one.
and
People
watched.
went straight back to that.
Yeah. 13 and no goals.
I think it was Swamp who did the comparison of the games where people got 10 coaches' votes and no Brownlow votes. And that stuff all comes out in real time.
Yeah, it was about 20 of each.
The real interesting ones, and obviously it amps up at the end, but the last ones are Errol 1 vote for 42 disposals and 2 goals.
When he came with a run,
did you see Franklin?
Excited. Yeah, well, he said he was going to fly.
Yeah. And it was like Petrarca won that game off his own boot and didn't get near the votes.
But I don't know, he won the game of his own boot, but did he have like the full game?
I think he was pretty good.
He was? Yeah, probably was.
I think he was pretty good. So there are a couple of interesting ones. And then obviously the ones that will get looked back on are the Neil ones, like the day Charlie kicked 7 and one of the GWS boys had 41.
And he got the 3 for about 20-odd.
Yeah.
And then there was Jeremy Cameron getting 1 vote for 6 goals from 25 touches and about 10 marks. Was a little bit bizarre.
Did you say his Instagram story?
Yeah.
He's gone with the, I might win this, and then the next story is, I forgot I'm a forward.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It wasn't bad, yeah.
I had an interest, and I'm going to claim it as though people have been tweeting. I can't get on Twitter, so I've been getting sent these screenshots.
What's going on?
The bloke who piled in with me, a few did. But I wrote about 12 weeks ago, should day cost be $1.40, maybe, and this is when it was about $2.10. I still thought day cost should have been about $1.40. Anyway, I wrote... However, Neil is a proven vote getter in the past. He's had 5 wins so far, where he's had over 30 touches and 10 clearances. Needs a strong finish with the remaining 8 games, but I think the Lions will almost win out, so you're going to get 8 more shots at it. I'd forgotten about that completely. I was like, Neil's no chance. So
with 8 rounds to go,
I feel like a genius.
Yeah.
The last 2 games gave him 6 Brownlow votes. I knew that, but I was like, mate, he might get 22 or something. And then when he had 4 votes, I think in the first 3 rounds. From nothing, I was like, "Oh shit, buckle in here," because those players just get the votes. Like,
you know what? And it seems like Noah Anderson jumped over that hoop this year too. Because when he was leading, so I missed the first few rounds, then I came back and he was on the leaderboard, and I remember because I was riding him pretty hard on the old Dream Team. Like he was going like a busted ass for 5 weeks. Not just from, I'm not saying from a Dream Team points perspective. In general, he couldn't get near it. And somehow he's just rocking it up the boards.
I think at the start of the year, my statement around Gold Coast was something like, they'll be better because Noah Anderson and them will go to the next level. And we were like, Well, that hasn't happened.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden he's on the Brownlow
He's
board.
top three.
Well, Zach Butters broke that barrier as well because
Yeah.
he had six Brownlow votes in his career up until this, and then was right up there in the end. So
But it just showed
Errol too. Errol had what? I think he had two coming
Yeah.
into
Four.
this year. Or 4?
2 and 2 was it? Something like that.
yeah.
Good top 10 though. Like that's a real marker of the next gen. I mean, apart from like Lockie Neal and Bont at the top.
Yeah.
It's a real
Petrarca,
next gen marker.
Viney, and every other.
Well, all the others then. Hey, there was
Yeah.
enough there to
And
mark
Cripps.
a changing of
Cripps
generation.
and
Yeah.
Cripps who's been
Cripps
there.
wasn't in the 10, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, see, there you go. That's
Yeah.
weird because he also did.
He
that.
did
So
have
now
a
watch
great
him
year.
flip his. So
Well,
I
no,
just
no,
said just the same blokes who poll
Just the
every
same
year.
blokes every year. No, you had Errol, Sarong finished in
Nick
the top
Dacos,
10.
obviously.
Anderson, Nick Dacos, and there was another one.
Does the Brown? Because my WhatsApp groups have never really cared about the Brownlow. Usually, like someone's had a punt on something and they're writing that. It was pretty fiery,
last night?
yeah, around the umpire votes. Can you see that changing?
Well, no, because that's the award is the umpire voted award. Just change your priority.
Well,
like
something
make
has
the
to happen.
coaches or something.
Something has to happen.
Well, I think
Give them the vote. Maybe give them the stat sheets.
No, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that might be the play. I think going to the coaches or something just changes the entire nature of the award. Whereas I think maybe giving them some stats. I mean, how quickly
There's
do we
4
get
of
them?
them too. Does that change anything? This was the first year with 4
Yep.
umpires?
Yeah.
I wonder if that changed anything.
Yeah, maybe.
What? Have less eye on what's going
Well, you
on.
just have you have another voice in there.
Well, just
and they
'cause
all-
you're outside.
you can get
I
voted
cannot
down.
imagine 4 people coming in and voting that Horn Francis was good.
Well, that's the 4 of them had to pick that.
Do you go the other way? Do you go the other way and you
One-
have the
one does the votes.
the senior umpire votes?
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. I don't hate that.
Oh, no, I do.
But
Because then you're going
imagine
to get
that
more
just-
Horn Francises.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to be pulled off the cliff. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
But I also think it goes the other way. So let's go. There's 4 umpires there, and 3 of them are going, oh, fuck it, Lockie Neal. And then another guy's like, oh, no, what about, you know, Cam Rayner? Yeah, do this, and this. It's safer for them all to go, oh, no, Lockie Neal's a
No,
safer.
of course.
Put down Lockie Neal, that's 3.
Well, that's why I went with Ollie Wines.
Because he was safe.
Well, like that year, he was in good form.
If people go, oh, yeah, Ollie wants 3 votes, yeah, fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Who else was going to take votes?
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine. I saw Coleman poll a couple of late. And I was like, not many people come to the table to argue that Coleman was better than Lockie Neal in a game of football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's
and,
good.
and it's a riskier vote. Whereas if it's just Lockie Neal, oh, that's safe. Lockie
Yeah.
Neal 3 votes. That sounds
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
Pull them back.
Thanks,
Give it a
Locke.
1, mate.
Just
Give us a
imagine
one.
some of
Give
the
us all kinds of-
stinkers. Just imagine some of the stinkers in the 60s and 70s before we were
Aware of
hyper
what
analysing.
happened, yeah.
There would have been guys getting away with all sorts. Was it John Dorotich had 3 touches and polled? Do you
Oh.
think was getting around? Yeah.
No, Greg Williams is still filthy, isn't he? Around, I think he needed a vote in his last game or something. He had 40-odd touches and didn't poll. Like,
How was it?
second best was 20 or something.
Was that the best reaction of the night where Marty got 3 being subbed off and the whole Swans table started pissing themselves?
Saligo
Yeah.
got subbed off as well in the game and got votes.
Andrew Phillips got 3 and
yeah.
Nick Martin, who I think was fairly well lubricated. There was a cutaway and he's like, what?
Yeah.
Flipper.
But I think Flipper's a popular character.
I think so.
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So, like,
Well, he wins the game from 70 out, kicks goal from 70 out to win the
Yeah.
game, you know, that
Yeah.
kind of folk.
but I mean, if he's a dick, then you're like,
Yeah,
but
well,
like if it's, oh, you beauty, you
Yeah.
pinched a couple.
yeah. All right, well, let's get started. Jacko, why don't you hit us off? Just pick whoever, mate.
All right, well, let's go with Port Adelaide. We'll go a Brownlow one to start. So Zach Butters, 27 votes. I think we all thought he'd be around the mark. I thought he was too far back at one stage.
Way too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, but came flying home to sort of be around the mark. Connor Rosie polled 21 votes as well. Horn Francis 16 in there as well, but some pretty iffy
Dubious.
ones. Yeah.
He's done
Seems a lot
a
for
Carl
Horn
Amon.
Francis.
He's done a Carl.
Yeah, that's right. Carl Amon.
Who's going to be the best of those 3 midfielders, and who's going to be the first to win? Could Connor Rosie win a Brownlow
Yeah.
before Zach Butters?
Probably.
Probably.
I think we voted on it last 2 weeks ago, didn't we?
Yes, I
And
like
went,
Rosie.
I went Rosie too.
Just the ceiling is higher slightly,
Yeah.
I think.
It's smoother.
It's smoother. Yeah, you can
We
see
compared
like
it to Oliver and Petrarca.
Yes, yeah.
Didn't
Where
we?
Oliver and Butters are the what you're
tough
getting.
and-
Petrarca's
yeah.
are, there's an extra, there's a game
They can
winning.
weave their way through traffic easily.
Yeah, kick it from 60 off a step.
So
his
probably
votes,
Rosie.
his votes last night just made me think, well, he's playing more of the half forward stuff than Butters is. So if you were to flip that, then he could be a serious vote getter. They obviously already like the look of him. Yeah.
Well, right now, and I've been saying that I want the market to pop out, and I was going to smack Goulden, thinking he would have. Yeah, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
If you had to if you gun to the head, you had to put $10 down right now. Where would you go?
Probably wins it next year after that finish.
Yeah, Goulden. I don't mind.
Goulden.
Yeah. I might have talked myself into Connor Rosie.
Well, now why do you think Connor Rosie next year?
If he's polling that well this year, he's going to keep growing and keep getting more opportunity.
I love these conversations, and we're just completely bypassing the actual winner.
Yeah, probably Lockie Neal again.
No.
She gets a 3. Or who?
Well, Nick Dacos.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't play the last 5 games.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he probably pisses it in this time next year. Yeah.
Probably does very well for himself.
Brisbane Lions. Are we going in any order?
Nah, pick 'em, mate. Just go wherever.
Okay, how do you see the Darcy Gardner situation unravelling?
So is Jackson Jack Payne back?
Yeah.
Sorry, not
So-
Jackson Payne.
Don't know if he's back or not. Grand final week, Ducks and Drakes.
Yeah,
Dizzy was unbelievable. Who one
Yeah.
day, Mark Lecras, he was playing on Mark Lecras, and Lecker was standing there, and all of a sudden he's hearing, "Sss." Oh, Dizzy was hissing and smacking him. Yeah.
Bruce Lee.
So
No,
ever
he-
since then, he's been one of my favourites.
Yeah.
He was really impressive.
He's exceptional.
I thought.
Correct.
Made me heaps more confident about what they could be. And him and
Did
Harris
you forget he was out of the
Andrews.
side?
Yeah, sort
I
of.
assumed
yeah.
he was injured,
Yeah.
but he was just playing two.
Yeah.
I thought he must have done something.
Good
to mess the
interview
season.
post game as well. That seems like a ripper, like club man.
Yeah, I think he is. I think that-
it's
yeah.
Payne's spot. If it's him, it's him. Like,
Is that
I'd
what-
love
is that
to
what he
play.
said? Is that
what he said?
Yeah, he was basically. Yeah.
What a man.
That's the right answer,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
In the back of his mind, he probably knows Payne's touch and go in
Well,
favour of
he-
him. You go, it's knowing that you're probably not going to play. I would say it's Nick's spot. Knowing, you know,
Yeah.
geez, he's a
gonna-
legend.
he's
Knowing,
gonna
yeah,
go-
deep down you're sucked
Jack
in.
Payne's going to the car park at the end of the night. Dizzy comes out of nowhere.
It is smash it.
There was some vision of him training today. He looked better than he did last week. So a bit more agility stuff, but I
Is he a
can't see
walk-up
them.
start though? Like if you've got someone who can take that spot.
Oh, I think from the
Payne
year,
has had a good year.
if he's like a 70%. If he hits 70%, he's in. Like,
70.
Oh, no, I
No.
think Gardner pushes that number up.
you think Gardner pushes the
yeah,
number
yeah,
up?
No, I reckon he has to be 85, 90.
Yeah, okay. It'd be a
I mean, it's
hell
not
of a-
Lockie Neal or bloody.
No, but they played him all year and they've like backed him up all year and pumped him up all year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Fagan basically ruled him out last week.
Yeah.
There was this
No,
line
no,
for
he was,
Fagan.
definitely an underdog. Yeah.
So, I really like Gardner. When he was what stood between Carlton putting 9 or 10 goals on them
Correct.
in that start.
And just last but not least, who lifts the cup up on Saturday? If it's Brisbane, you got co-captains.
Yeah.
Can
What
you
did
do-
Lockie Neal say? Stand just
Who'll
behind
stand
him?
behind.
Yeah.
It's Harris Andrews, isn't it?
It's probably Andrews,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it depends. No, I reckon
It's a big deal because you
I
don't
reckon
have
Fagan
Fagan
steps
does the Lockie
aside.
Neal,
Yeah.
you come in. I
Yeah,
reckon
no,
that
he does.
happens.
So,
Yeah.
so Lockie Neal comes in. So
But
he's
then
the
also,
third
that's
party.
a very.
What did
like,
Sydney
the
used to
height
do?
difference is going to be a bit weird there. Lockie
Sydney
Neal's
had
on one side,
one
Harris
used to go
Andrews
up.
the other.
Yeah, Barry
Yeah.
Hall did it one year.
They picked for the game. You're the captain, though.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they
right.
had
Okay.
because they
Yeah.
had 30
yeah,
captains.
three. Yeah.
The two blokes that weren't captain was stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me, Collingwood. So again, this is sort of that same on the Payne. I'm about to say Payne train.
Pain train.
The Payne train.
Yeah.
So do you run the risk with Taylor Adams? Does what
No.
he give you?
No,
Don't do it.
no. So unfortunately for Taylor Adams, sorry, mate. Unfortunately for Taylor Adams, if it was a broken hand or a
With a hammy and a long history.
yeah,
of
if it
them.
was a broken jaw or a cheekbone, I'm going, mate, your call, let's do it. But a soft tissue
Yeah.
and a hamstring, very different.
and he's
I
not a
spoke
great
about-
sub.
I spoke last week about how much I reckon he brings them, but I just think if it goes
Yeah.
straight away, and your sub's probably going to be,
You want a bit more punch
Guinea.
off the bench.
I
if
think
it's Ginnivan coming in, then it's like changes the whole.
I
yeah.
think Ginnivan plays. I think Noble goes sub, and I think Adams misses.
Wait, someone's got to come out though.
So
right?
your mixed up, more mixed
Oh,
comes
mixed
out.
up, sorry. Oh, so they just don't replace mixed
So-
at all.
And then Dacos becomes a chip that either they need someone who's going to get followed in the forward line. He can play forward, he can play back line. So Ginnivan, whatever. Nick Dacos, 19 or 20, is like the queen of the chessboard.
Do you give
Yeah.
any thought to picking the second tall down there to try and stretch Harris
Nah.
Andrews, make him more
Because I think
accountable?
they're already so far back in that. Just like
I could
trying to
just
go
see
around
Harris Andrews taking 15 intercept marks.
Yeah,
Brian
but I
Lake,
could also
Norm
see
Smith.
the ball
Because-
coming to ground and then just a free-for-all with those little Collingwood.
Payne/Gardner goes to Myercheck, and then I can just say Harris Andrews, and then
Well,
Coleman
Cox.
as well.
It's Cox there.
Cox,
Yeah, I think you
They've already
got.
got an extra tall down there
Yeah.
because
I think their
Dusty
tools,
Cameron.
they just
Yeah.
don't have good enough tools that you have to go the opposite way and
Well,
just go
that's-
all small. We've got
where
good
was-
talented smalls, just throw
Yeah.
them.
When was the last time the third forward ripped the guts out of a grand final?
Jack Gunston,
Jack Gunston,
2013.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
But Jack Gunston would have been the best foot forward.
I mean,
Yeah.
Bailey Fritsch was the third tallest forward.
Yeah, but he
That's
was
yeah,
probably,
Bailey
was their
he's
best
probably their
forward.
best.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so you got to tip your hat occasionally.
Yeah.
If they brought in Frampton or someone and they kicked 4, you'd go, wow.
Wow,
Well, that's happened once in his life.
inspired.
Yeah.
Inspired coaching move. You're right, Jackson.
This is me.
Hello.
Western Bulldogs.
We just go around in a circle.
Yeah, no, I'm starting
Don't
to get
be
the
a
hang
smart
of
ass, mate. You're late.
That's
20 minutes late.
I got you back.
What was it?
Yeah, 11:45. That was the time you set.
Yeah, but then Xavier was coming at 12.
No.
Didn't say anything of the
I didn't
sort.
respond.
Oh, please.
Will Marcus Bontempelli be one of those incredible footballers in the top 3
Yeah.
mids for best part of a decade that doesn't win a Brownlow?
He'll probably win
No,
next year.
yeah, but next year you go, well, I think Bont has got all his vote-getting powers on display as we speak,
Yeah.
whereas Goulden, Dacos,
They got ceiling.
they got jackpot. Like next
Yeah.
year, umpires are going to go, oh, Goulden. He's going to get the Neil treatment.
But I reckon there's less people to get votes around Bont now every year as well at the Western
Yeah,
Bulldogs. It
he's
seems like
getting- he's getting
everyone
older,
else
though.
gets a bit worse.
Yeah, but he's going to tip at some stage, not
Yeah.
tip, but like curve.
Yeah.
Who are the unluckiest you can think of? Scott Pendlebury.
Did he get close?
Oh, well, he's
Luke
polled in over
Parker
100
finished
games.
top 3 like a lot.
Well, Joel
Yeah, he had a
Selwood.
run there, didn't he?
Joel Selwood went in $1.70
Yeah, true.
favourite one night and got tipped by
Was that-
Pritter.
Oh, was that the Pritis one?
Pritis one.
Jeez.
Yeah, because we were going to.
Richo that
Richo.
one night.
Well, I gave him 3 votes.
Big
He
wing
got 3
Richo.
votes on me one night on the wing.
I did. Yeah, I don't know. It's not one I see as a unlucky to miss out. It's just a nice to get. Like, is that a weird thing to say? Like, if you want their roll call, like I'm not. The Brownlows is a nice addition, but I don't think it doesn't affect how I feel about players.
A Brownlow sits above anything on the individual awards, but deep down, imagine going to bed being an All-Australian captain.
Yeah,
Like, do you know
yeah.
what I mean? But that doesn't stand up.
But if someone's like 7 All Australians but no Brownlows, I'm probably counting that over 2 All Australians and 1 Brownlow.
Of course, you are. But
Yeah.
the Brownlow's good, mate.
Brownlow's nice. To
There's
have.
no reunions for All-Australians.
No, this is.
Bloody oath there is for Brownlow medalists.
Well, you get to go to the Brownlow every year,
Yeah,
I
if-
suppose. That's
Imagine
better. Yeah, that's better.
Imagine being single and winning a Brownlow. I'd be at the Cot Hotel shirt off, just dangling off my
Every
chest.
night with the
Yeah.
Fifey get the beanie and the no shirt.
Fifey did go shirtless,
He did
didn't
go shirtless. Yeah.
Yeah. I got Carlton Footy Club. So they stumbled at a prelim. I felt as though, the round of applause when they come off and stuff, it was a good finish to Carlton. But that can't be the ceiling. Like, what do they
Actually,
do?
what you think they can't be
Nah.
happy even though they made it that
No,
far?
like they stuck around the ground and did a chat and then got the round of applause, which was great. It finished like a freight train.
Yeah, finished.
But-
Well, what was Frio's first final? They got dudded at Subi and then did like a lap of honour.
Did they?
Wasn't a good look.
Essendon 2003. Yeah.
Like, what do they got to do to get better?
Just be better.
I can see them.
But
I can see them dipping
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
next year.
I can see them
As
missing
soon as they
finals
brought
again.
all those
Yeah.
forwards in again,
Yeah, it just went
it
wrong.
just
So again, everyone will think I'm hating on Carlton, but I
love Carlton. Whoever
They-
that person is.
if their opposition was off in the first 2 finals, like they couldn't hit the side of a barn. So let's say
Yeah.
they actually convert half of those misses, and Carlton are out of the finals.
Who
in
they
the
beat first final?
Sydney.
Yeah.
Yes,
Melbourne.
Sydney, Melbourne, and they both kicked. They both missed every opportunity they got.
Yeah, I don't know.
And again, but they were good when they had one less forward and
Yeah.
and less of their good midfielders available. They were better.
yeah, I agree.
So they just need to figure out that.
I just
mix.
worry with this forward line, like such a large chunk of their salary cap is tied up in a forward line that
Yeah.
they haven't actually figured out
It
yet.
has to be tight up in the midfield too. Like they could have money.
Yeah, where is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
that's
Cripps,
their problem
Walsh.
is the balance is out of whack. But it's almost like their mid-tier players are better,
The mid-tier players lift.
when they need to. They just take a few out.
Yeah.
Just get aggressive. Trade some.
The little role players that had a decent year were the ones that lost it after quarter time. So like Alex Chincotta has had a good year, had an absolute mare. There were different guys like Plowman, like Fogarty was randomly sort of like red hot in that first quarter and then just went out of the game and ended up being subbed off. Like they were the guys that they were sort of like the barometers in the end on
What do they say?
Saturday night.
The finals aren't about your top five, they're
It's
about your bottom five.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
We
the
spoke
Walsh-
about that heaps with Geelong last year.
Sam Walsh tipped that hat too. He's
Mate,
that's
It's a
absolute
serious final
stud.
series.
Yeah,
That's the studliest final series I can
absolutely.
I'll go Melbourne. So hear me out on this one. So it's pretty clear they just need someone to be able to mark the ball in the forward line and kick some
Whenever he
goals.
says hear me out, it'll be the shittest idea you've ever heard.
Well, they just got so many picks.
I'm
They
going
got 5-13 on
to
future
I'm going
first.
to let you hear that.
There's just a bloke who went like a busted ass this year in the worst team in the competition. So as a forward, you get a half a percentage, but he was off even when he had his chances, which is Jack Darling. Do you roll, like if Melbourne give up, those picks aren't going to do a lot for them. They need to win another one in this window with this list. Let's say even just a future first. Or
For Jack Darling.
well, you need to pay overs to. Do you even need to pay overs to get him? Give him a second. But just regardless of the
It's not a
picks,
first.
Certainly not a first.
well, regardless of the picks,
Yeah.
would that work? Do you see that being able to work? And
I see
also,
it working for
does
everyone.
Jack Darling want? Like, I'm a bit confused about what he wants out of his career at the point. Like,
Yeah.
if he wants another flag, shouldn't he be trying? He's 31.
He was so
32.
dominant in 2018. God, he was
Yeah.
good, that patch.
Was it the Richmond game?
I don't know
here?
whether he gets it done for Melbourne.
But he gives them he's a better option than they've got.
Yeah, I don't know whether he'd be much better than Van Rooyen or whatever next year.
Yeah, what is it? Is it? So it
So
wasn't
I-
just that it was a
Look,
bad
Jack
team.
Darling was a star, was a stud in
50
that, in
games
that
a year.
patch.
It was 50 games a year for his whole career.
50
until
goals, yeah.
50 goals.
I think he's over that curve now, and I think it's coming down. And all of a sudden, he's out of form, and then you've got Ben Brown, McDonald, Darling. Like, it's
many out of
all
form
the tried
forwards.
stuff. Yeah,
I was thinking when Jacob Kajitsky nominated Richmond for a trade, if you're a key forward on the move, aren't you just banging down the Melbourne door?
Well, yeah,
you walk
yeah.
into this
Half a
side in the
chance.
window and you are the number one forward.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I was flat last night to hear Hawkins had re-signed.
I thought he was done.
No,
Career
I
over.
was getting him to Melbourne. I was
Oh,
getting
that
him
was the
another
one,
flag.
Yeah, one more year. It's a long drive up the coast, up the highway. Sorry,
It's
from the
45
coast.
minutes, mate.
Mate, what about the traffic though?
You know, Joe Danaher lives
get
in
the
northern
train?
New South Wales.
Like
I read that this
Byron
way.
or something, does he?
Yeah, and he.
Kingscliff maybe? Is it Kingscliff?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it just said northern New South Wales. But he travels up and then he stays in a hotel one night a week if he needs to. And
Does he?
yeah, weird unit.
Nah, good
Like
for
it.
yeah. I like
Yeah.
the strange ass.
Doesn't have
Yeah.
TV.
I love it.
Doesn't have TV.
Why would you when you're making highlights?
This is true.
You are
just-
the TV.
You just
Yeah.
close your eyes and remember.
Close your eyes and you just picture it.
Jacko.
Gold Coast, we sort
I
of
think
already.
we've gone the opposite direction. This is what's doing us.
Yeah,
Normally
yeah.
come that way.
I'm rattled here.
Yeah.
We've sort of already done, but bit of love for Noah Anderson. And is he someone that you can see polling into the future? Because Rao's not that
Well,
guy.
yes, clearly.
Clearly,
Yeah.
right?
Because the first few rounds, get this has just popped into my head. It's a really good line. He was nowhere Anderson, and he was getting votes. Hello. Continue.
So we might start hiring for a new host.
Please do.
I usually respectfully look at you and swivel my chair when people are talking. I'm done with that today.
So Noah Anderson's going to poll really well, right? It's not Rao. It's not Took anymore,
but,
I don't
but I
think.
think that's the issue for Gold Coast, getting to the next level.
Yeah, they need
I'm
to-
not
But they
sure if
won-
Anderson's the man.
What do they win this year? 9
10?
games.
Yeah, 9 or 10,
yeah.
yeah.
So obviously, if they're around, if Dimmer wins, I don't know, they nab 12 games next year. So there's an extra couple of twos in there for him. He's right around the mark, right? Like I could see this guy being
Obviously
a
not,
Brownlow,
yeah.
like a little Brownlow gem.
How stiff a Hawthorn not to have him on the books too.
Yeah.
Oh, was it 90
Oh, the
something
Sun.
games?
90 and 2 flags about
Yeah,
that.
no.
Wouldn't it be nice now, him and Newcomb?
Will Day,
Yeah.
Anderson.
Oh, wow. He was more of a goal kicker at under 18s, which is a strange thing because he wasn't
Yeah.
kicking a lot.
Well, he was in Rouse
This year.
team, wasn't he? At school?
I
Yeah,
remember,
both-
yeah, he
both Terry
was.
boys.
Yeah. I was remembering his underage year for Vic Metro. They played a game here. Sammy Taylor was almost best on ground that day for WA. But yeah, he kicked 3 or 4 in the last couple of quarters. Like I thought he'd be more of a goal kicker, but he's
Yeah,
a
right.
very good player. But if you can add that as well, bring a little bit more of that back.
Well, my boy Flanders is going to be in there. He's going to be getting 30s every week.
And Humphrey.
Yeah, he's an interesting one.
North
Anderson. Like,
Flanders, yeah.
I reckon I'm on the tightrope where he goes. does he become a star or does he become just a very good player?
I think he
becomes a star.
I think he's a star.
Yeah.
I
hope he does.
Yeah. I reckon he's a serious
Side
player.
note, the Dim Hardwick thing made me think about the front bar guys. Their little segment on the Brownlow. I think just give them the show. Just take the whole show. The front bar guys host the Brownlow.
Take the reins.
Just take
Yeah.
the reins.
Gee, I don't know if I needed an hour of warm up before the vote.
It was a long preamble.
I don't know if I needed that. Anyway, we play on. North Melbourne Football Club I'm going to go with. The compensation of 3 first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
Do you reckon when they sat down and put the submission in, maybe you ask for 3, get 1, you go,
Yeah.
that's a win. You're around the table high-fiving each other.
They still got the Ben Mackay compensation.
So they're going to have, I think it's like 2, 3, 14,
like
19.
And this is, they haven't done like
And 19 and 20 next year.
Yeah.
they're just like,
Which and then there'll be 2 or 3 as well, you'd think, with that as again.
Yeah.
they just get it for being shit.
Yeah, well,
There's nothing, there's been no external factors to affect North Melbourne here. Like,
hard to recruit.
yeah, but still, it's so
Yeah,
hard to recruit
because they're shit.
because they're so bad. Like, you have to get out of the.
Do
hole a
you know what I think would end all of it? By getting rid of those stupid academies.
Well,
So that's what North Melbourne go hat in hand for and say, okay, well, if you're
Tassie, well, they
happy,
got
if
Tassie.
you're happy to give 3 first-round stars to Gold Coast for the 50th time, here's our submission.
Yeah.
Like, if you get rid of that, then because the draft is completely and utterly stuffed.
Yeah.
I was going to say the F-bomb, and I censored myself there. But you can't go to the AFL can't deny requests whilst they're running free hits for the northern suburbs, northern states.
Northern suburbs.
Yeah, northern suburbs.
Yeah, I agree. But I think you got to strip it out of everywhere, or at least like bring those northern academies back to a par with the rest of it. But then you got like the thing, the father-son rule, as good as it also is one of the keys that it all flowed on from that. Like, because they didn't have any father-sons, obviously they come from low base. So it's like, do you eradicate everything?
But even the father-sons, clubs trading 1,000 picks away to get the points or whatever, which doesn't make sense. Like, give me pick 2 above pick 50, 58, 60, 61.
Craft value index.
It should simply be, if you want your father-son,
Yeah.
you need to have the pick. Like, we rate him pick 5 or whatever.
You need to be in the...
You have to have
Or
pick
like at
5
20%, you get a 20%.
leniency. But, like,
Yeah.
and it's not by trading out massive draft picks to get there. It's like, okay, you want Nick Dacos? We're going to have to pack up Maynard to get pick 5 in.
Yeah.
You know, like, maybe something like that. But, I don't know. Just get rid of those academies.
Yeah.
Keep the academies, get rid of the draft concessions.
I've got West Coast on that sort of note. Do you want me to roll in?
Sure.
Yeah.
So the 2 next year, the catch with them is that they can be reviewed at the end of next season. So the worst case for North Melbourne is that Clarko jags them six
they win
wins,
games.
and the AFL goes, all right, that's it. But they wouldn't. They are tradable, and the AFL's not going to take them off.
They should be
the asset
tradable,
off someone
yeah.
else. They are tradable. So
So you're saying they might fire away this
so
year?
So those 2 first rounders next
fire 'em
year,
off.
they have to go.
Yeah.
If I'm North, they're trade bait.
So this is what they're saying on the West Coast thing. That's where the... Okay,
yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
that's the worst case scenario is that Clarko pulls them to a decent year and the AFL goes, all right, we'll have them back. So you trade them, right? And it's just ammo, I think.
But you're not going to get the value of pick 19 when you know that you need to get rid of it. You're probably going to get players that would be worth 30 or something.
Yeah, true. Are you looking for players or is it part of a package
Well, I don't know.
with West Coast this year?
Probably talking to... Are you North Melbourne's like list management consultant now, or what kind of... Did you
Actually,
jag yourself a job?
beers with Clarko
I know. Did you
on
wangle
Sunday,
yourself
yeah.
into a job there or anything?
No, it's good to catch up.
Because
Yeah.
he's just telling me... I thought you would have told him, gone on your spiel about how list managers don't watch footy.
They don't watch footy.
And told
They
him
don't.
you watch footy.
Someone needs to ring the list manager at North and tell them that they've got picks.
Yeah.
He won't know yet. He actually won't know. He'll be at the draft and he'll get timed out. Glyn will go, moving on, North Melbourne not taking pick 19. And the bloke goes, fuck, I didn't know. When did we get this?
He called the club with the next pick. Who are you going to take?
And then you'll say, oh, shit, I'll have Goulden. And I'll go, no, mate, it's the draft, not free agency. Sorry.
So West Coast, the Harley Reid thing now is that now the 3 years are in, that changes their situation.
North don't want Harley Reid, I wouldn't have thought.
Why not?
What's the one thing
They
North
got
Melbourne
mids,
have got going
young
for
mids.
them? The
Young
one
mids.
thing, young
Yeah.
mids. They don't need more. The Clarko came to Hawthorn and said, my first move at Hawthorn is I want 2 pillars. Bang. All good clubs have a good spine. North Melbourne have got a weak spine.
Yeah.
That's
Lucky, LDU maybe in the middle, and Not much else.
So this year, you'd rather them stay in the market for someone like a Curtin,
Pick 2 and 3,
and then
two keys.
slightly more established with next
I
year's
don't,
picks.
don't know if there's a key forward around that mark.
We'll just get 2 key backs. Whatever it is, I reckon Clarko will go 2, 3 will be keys. When you look at it, Harley Reid will be beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong, it'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
But you might be giving up a Norm Smith medalist to win a premiership. You know, like...
I also like. I think there's scope for Dan Curtin in the middle.
Yeah.
We've seen him.
But how good would North Melbourne look in 5 years if they had I don't know, a Sam Taylor, Larky kicking 60, LDU, Sheasel, Wardlaw, those pieces are already
Not
there. I think it'd be wise to. Why would you trade? Why would you sell heaps of assets to trade a position that you're going to get a best player? Don't get me wrong, Harley is the best player.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that he's what North Melbourne are
I was
crying
going
out
to
for.
say it's North Melbourne, so they might have all those players and finish second last. They've picked 2 and no, it's a conversation
We'll
again.
go again.
It didn't work. Sorry, guys. All right, I'll go with GWS. So I'm not a big call, but I really think they're one more forward away from flag contention for the next 5 years. So obviously they made the run this year. They're sort of stacked on every line now, but there's just that. Riccardi's just not that second key that they need.
Yeah.
And Hogan's better when he's further up the ground. But I don't know how. Like, they've got draft assets to
How
get
old
it.
is Hogan?
Hogan would be 27, 28?
If it's only that, you beauty.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. You got 5 years of him finally hitting his straps as well after many years in the mire. It's just a question of who they actually
28.
go and get. So they have top 5. They would give away pick 5, I'd assume, in a second for a good second key. They would give pick 5 and next year's first rounder. Because they probably got academy kids coming through as well. But I don't know who is around. And that's another one where the Kaczynski thing was weird to Hawthorn. It's like, I wonder if did everybody know he was available?
So
Could you
Kaczynski's nominated Richmond, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, to Richmond, yeah.
And as far as Richmond goes, you're taking Riewoldt spot. You're the second forward behind Lynch.
But
Like,
they're just
beauty.
they're not great.
Yeah.
Who'd kick more goals in their first 40? So because he's played maybe 45 games, who'd kick more goals in their first 45? Riewoldt, Lynch, or Cozzy?
Which Riewoldt? Jack Riewoldt.
Jack Riewoldt, Tom Lynch.
Well, it's probably Kaczynski, is it?
It is.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty weird.
Well, I was going to say,
I mean, Lynch was in
but they all did.
a pretty
Startup,
terrible team. Yeah.
But and probably Jack Riewoldt was too.
Well, so's he,
And
though.
so Kaczynski.
Kaczynski went in a horrible
They're all-
team.
They probably all started in horrible teams. That's why I was going to make that point, but then I was like, no, I think they must all be bad. Maybe he's a good piece there, but GWS, you got to find one, right?
Yeah.
And are they going to be that aggressive?
It's not a big.
Or can
I mean,
Toby
they got
kick?
Cadman. Cadman's not coming on that quick.
Can Toby kick 65?
Yes. Toby can do whatever he wants.
Do you know what I mean? Like if Toby goes nuts
Yeah.
and just plays full forward.
Okay, right. Find someone else to do that high roll. Toby, you're deep.
There's just not a big key forward pool this year.
Nah.
Is there?
No.
But there's no
They're
real
not
key
floating.
forwards you're really shitting yourself about.
No. Oh, yeah, I just wondered if Chol was a good piece, but I don't know.
Fremantle, I got Freo. The players that have left the club from Freo, if you put them all together, they'd win the premiership.
Yeah.
Jesse Hogan, Lockie Neal.
Yeah, Akers, Brad Hill was
Blake
best on
Akers,
ground
Brad
for
Ed
St
Langdon
Kilda.
on one wing, Akers on the other.
Yeah.
Neil in the middle.
Yeah.
There you go, Freo.
Matt DeBoer running the league.
So what's that? I saw he was
He's on the commission.
He's on the commission.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
see that. Freo, so obviously we're joking around that they've lost a lot of good players. And we've lauded Freo for their list management. They've done a great job at the young kids coming in.
Yep.
Do you reckon if they look back at it now, there's a couple that they'll go, oh, we didn't quite get that right? I know Lockie Neal's gone for 2 Brownlows, which obviously doesn't look good on paper.
Yeah.
But do you reckon that there are any... I still think Blake Akers.
I think they
they've
go back
cooked-
to the
I think
well with
they've
Blake
cooked
Akers.
Akers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what was the story with Akers? They were squabbling over a fourth
Oh, they just
year
didn't
or
want him.
something.
No, they didn't want to give him the cash he wanted.
No, the initial offer was not 10% off. It was massively off.
I think they've cooked it. I think they needed to
They thought they didn't need
pay
him.
the money.
Yeah.
I think that's
well,
what
they
it comes
found
down
Liam
to.
Henry, though.
Yeah, they know he's going.
Yeah, and they probably thought that Nathan O'Driscoll
Yeah.
was
Would come on a bit more.
Jeez,
upward
you watch the
trajectory.
waffle and you'd like to see players like that dominate the waffle.
Yeah, but he's weird. There's some
Yeah.
players who are weirdly
If
don't
you're-
do well at the waffle,
if
but
you're on
do
a
better
wing,
on the league.
if you're on a wing and you're young, if you can't dominate in a wing, then you're going to battle at AFL
Yeah,
level.
true.
We were saying in the office today, like, O'Driscoll doesn't look like a guy who has the awareness that he's desperately fighting for his spot. And maybe it was the worst thing that he walked straight into the Freo side.
You know who I really
He looks
like?
like a guy
His
who's like,
sister's
I'm
athletic.
an AFL guy.
I really like
I'm
his little
playing
brother.
appeal, not I'm a waffle guy
Yeah.
trying to win my spot.
His little brother, He's shorter, but he was playing for Perth Colts in the grand final on the weekend.
Serious
Kicks first
player.
two.
Did he?
Pace. Very good player.
Okay, and last but not least, the Carp Sarong has Brownlow type.
24, yeah.
Has Lockie Neal type written all over him, doesn't
Yeah,
he? To
yeah,
run
yeah.
around and find those votes. So he's one to certainly look out for. They just need Eddie Brayshaw to bounce back, I think.
Yeah,
They need a real two-prong Darcy All-Australian sort of calibre ruckman. They'll be fine. I just find it funny that it's all popped up now. That the Freo
all the players are left
all the
to
old
go.
boys.
They're all winning prelims.
winning prelims and Brownlows. But no,
Yeah.
I think they've certainly done the right thing.
You do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Freo. Yeah.
Would have liked to keep Neil. And
Yeah,
Hogan. Maybe not Hogan. Wasn't
Maybe
working.
not Hogan.
Wasn't working out.
But it would have. It would be a great fit now for.
Well, I don't
Imagine
know.
if
Would
they
it
wrote,
have?
No,
imagine
no,
if they
just-
wrote it out.
But say you had dementia or whatever and just forgot all about it.
So he's a list manager. You
Doesn't
don't watch your
watch footy
footy
and
and
has
has dementia.
say you're a list manager and you turn up and go, who's that bloke? Like, mate, it's Jesse Hogan. He's been here for 4 years. Yeah. The old list managers.
St Kilda. Now this is where I was stretching.
Yeah.
Gresham and Billings. What are you doing with
So
them?
Gresham's
So did you hear the Gresham rumour
Which one was this?
around?
Was it Hawks, Gresham?
No, yeah, but around compensation and the deal that might be cut.
Oh,
That
really?
his first year is going to be boosted out at Wazoo
Okay.
to allow better compensation for St Kilda.
right.
Now, I might be talking absolute, as Ernie Dingo says, out my dot. But have you heard that? That's such a
Not in
great
a
saying.
while. Talking out your
No,
dot.
have you heard when he said out his dot?
What did he say?
So when he went to, we was talking about West Coast Eagles and why they're playing so poorly, and it was the design of the Indigenous jumper that his nephew or someone did, and
Yeah.
something was facing the wrong direction or whatever on the jumper. And they said, have you gone down and told West Coast? No, God, no. That thing I'm talking out my dot. I haven't heard it since then. Okay, so what are we talking about?
St Kilda.
St Kilda.
Kilda.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know if anyone told me that, who has any idea what's going on, but there might be some stuff with Gresham.
Anyway,
Your
Hardball gets
contact- your-
rumour file.
your
Yeah. Yeah.
Your contact list varies from people in the know to complete nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get confused about which one it came from.
Yeah, this might be
Just run with all of it, and 50% of it will come up.
I've got to remember who I'm talking to these days. I might be the one with dementia.
Well, you're perfect for a list manager position.
And Jack Billings.
I think he's involved in this thing
Is
that's going
Jack
to happen.
Billings involved in
Okay.
this thing as well?
Yeah.
They would be two I want to see out of St Kilda. What
I
they could
would
do.
have. I would dive into Billings.
Yeah,
I'd
I
love
don't
to
think
see
St
what Billings
Kilda.
could
I don't
do.
think St Kilda want them like they're not
Pick
fighting
50 or
tooth and
something?
nail to hang on. 50% maybe at this stage. That's a long
West Coast.
value drop.
Billings.
No,
Oh.
why would you?
If I was free, I would in a heartbeat.
Yeah, put him on a wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're very WA centric over here, and we
Yeah.
picked both the WA clubs.
no,
Two clubs.
But I reckon he'd be fitting really well at Freo.
Adelaide. Give him Adelaide.
Adelaide as well, another one.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
Is this coming? No.
You got
Yes,
skipped.
come back
Oh,
to
you
St
went-
Kilda.
yeah, we're going back the other way now.
Yeah,
We've
we're all
reversed on
over.
ourselves.
This is speaking of Adelaide. So this was the thing that came up during the week that it's kind of right in my wheelhouse of just a weird thing that I love. So do you know? So Jackson Hately obviously got delisted, which is they thought he would be a player when he
Yeah.
got across from
Yeah.
GWS.
Former first rounder?
He was a first
Yeah.
round. He was academy though. Academy
Yeah.
first round. Sometimes people bid early just to get him to pay the
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
So he was wearing the number 6 jumper.
No, list managers wouldn't know that.
No.
They just bid.
Hey, what?
This bloke, he's a rookie player.
Hey, this Carlton
Yeah,
reckon,
first
Carlton reckon
round.
Liam Henry's pick 9. Let's let it go, mate. Tony, so since Tony Modra left in 1998, no Crow has worn the number 6 in more than 56 games. I think Graham Corns this week was calling it like the number 6 curse. So I'll go through the list for
Yeah.
you. So it was first, I think it was James Byrne, 24 games.
James
Ben
Byrne.
Nelson, 12 games.
Nello.
Fergus Watts.
Fergie.
John
Wesley-
Griffin,
Griffo.
who we know. Jack Gunston, who we
Gunno.
know. He was John Griffin, 41 games. Jack Gunston, 12 in the jumper. Luke Thompson, 9 in the jumper.
I think Jack Gunston went on to bigger things.
He did,
Yeah.
yeah. And Jake Levo was another one. He played the most games in the jumper since Modra, which was 56. Then Bryce Gibbs, 37. And now Jackson
Saw
Haley,
Bryce Gibbs
15.
at the Carlton game the other day. Not I personally saw him, but he was interviewed. Good to see Bryce Gibbs. I haven't seen him. Then I
So he
started
played
to
a lot of
think,
good
Well, he's
sample.
playing for
yeah, Nord or Stir, one of them, yeah.
Stir,
Then
navy blue jumpers.
Started
Stir?
to think
Yeah.
that how old would he have been? Yeah, if he'd
Oh,
stayed
the
at
Blues.
Carlton, would have he been half into the prelim final with the group, all that sort of stuff? Too old.
How
Yeah.
old is he? Well, I don't even know if he's too old, but he wasn't even getting a game at the end of the day.
I think he's retired from the Sample. I think that was it this year.
I saw him do a
Yeah,
drop
okay.
kick. Did you see the drop kick?
No.
Is his dad a famous footballer from over there?
I think he was.
Possibly?
Yeah, because his father's son.
And there was a play or something his father
to
did in
Carlton,
like
I
a.
No, he could have been. He was just off father's son to Adelaide, I think.
Was
was
it?
the thing.
Or
yeah.
he chose. Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah.
His father must have done a famous drop kick or something. And so Gibbs had the ball in the wing from a mark.
Yeah.
And then just let rip of a massive
Big
drop kick.
Sick.
Yeah.
Mate, the Wallabies might need.
Yeah.
Wallabies need some people who can do
How
anything.
well are they
I
going?
believe.
That's a grim state of
Go
affairs.
Anyway, there's no real news about that one. I just liked
No.
that little tidbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm a Sydney Swans right now. I'm going to make a quit statement and then I'm going to fire the bullet, okay? So the Brownlow market went up last night and they had Brodie Grundy bracket Sydney.
Really?
Yeah, they already had it set as Sydney, but anyway, bullet them.
We're giving Errol a lot of love already.
have,
I
we give it,
can't be too sad about that one.
Geelong, Rucks. Do you bite at Todd Goldstein or do you back in our man Toby Conway to be the next guy? Do you chase someone else? Do you leave it
Is
as
Goldstein
is?
going to do much better than Reece Stanley?
No.
I think you need to get games into the kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd just keep Stanley there and whatever falls underneath.
Yeah, so it's Conway where possible.
Whatever. Or they
Plays a
draft
bit of
a kid.
So
Yeah.
he was the one. He was sort of 20-odd, pick 20-odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's
They
number
rate him-
6?
They rate him incredibly highly.
six?
Like every time they speak about him, it's like, this is our guy.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And then, he's shown.
Shannon Neal's still on the list too and getting a couple of games.
Yeah,
isn't he?
but Shannon Neal's been getting games as a forward.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
he came in when Hawkins was out late in the year for
Right.
a game or
So
two.
if you think that's when if they are rebuilding, like we think they probably need to be ish, if they looking ahead 5 years and they want Conway leading the ruck with Neal as the third tall chop out,
yeah.
they probably got to just play him. Just play him, right?
Play him over Stanley.
Well, no, you probably just play Neal where you can.
Yeah.
He's another one who probably needs a bit more development.
It's
but
funny. I reckon that they're going to get a reality check Geelong early next year,
Just
and
get
then
pumped.
it's just going to not pump, but like, what are we doing? We're not dominating. We're probably making up the numbers, and that's why I reckon those kids will start.
So
I
you
know
reckon
it's-
Tom Hawkins' first mid-season trade to Melbourne? That's coming in next year, right?
Is it?
Mid-season trade, I think so.
Don't know.
I think it's 2025, isn't it?
Oh,
That
is
CBA
it?
starts.
Oh, is it right? I thought it was like
I could
straight away.
be
Because the
wrong,
draft
yeah.
stuff straight away, the third year.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is.
There we go.
The
Mid-season.
mid-season trade is still that's not locked in. That's discussion.
That's to be discussed.
Oh, to be
Yeah.
discussed. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Open to discussion or whatever
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
So I know it's not Geelong, but is there going to be any interest in Todd Goldstein? I mean, 2 years ago it looked like he was going to Geelong, and now it's sort of like, well,
Someone.
Someone will be. He's obviously got something lined up, and I think North Melbourne are probably pretty keen to part ways too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
they
is
spent
it
a
in-
first-round draft pick on Coleman Jones and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
get those guys in.
ideal well, they go Sherry, Coleman Jones, Charlie Comben, who snapped his leg this
Yeah.
year, Goldstein. So, like, he might as well. Test
Maybe
the
he's got
market.
one of those assistant deals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Half
could.
play, half assistant.
Could.
I'll go to Richmond. So Adam Uze as the new head coach. I don't think we've had a podcast since then, have we?
No.
So he came in and he talked about the contest and defence. The question is, does he remake the system or evolve the system? Like, will he come
has
in
to
with
evolve.
Has to
Yeah.
and not strip it all out?
The
They haven't got-
outlay on the midfield has been too big for.
Yeah.
You can't strip it back.
I was
now.
talking about a system of playing rather than the.
No, there was a system of play needs to change too. They don't have what they had.
Yeah, no, I know he's going to do something. My question is whether he scraps
Strips
it
it
and
back.
starts
Yeah.
again or just
Yeah.
tweaks what's
No.
there. You got to strap it to start again.
Yeah. I think Richmond at times this year, although they had a good patch with Andrew McQualter, they're not winning a flag playing that way.
No.
And that's all. When you come into a new club, he's handcuffed a bit too, Oz.
He's going to picks.
No picks. I saw Hopper get a vote last night in the Brownlow. It might have only ended up with one. And I was like, he's
Yeah.
got a 7-year contract.
Yeah,
He had injuries and whatnot.
but still.
Yeah, he just handcuffed a bit from the start.
McQualty got done a little bit by how long he had to take the reins.
Yeah.
Like his first 6 weeks,
Yeah.
6 weeks was so good that if he did the last 4 or 6 weeks of the season, he might have been okay.
If he,
It just went
yeah.
on forever.
The last
and
2
they
or
lost
3
interest.
hurt and got smacked
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
Where's he going? Is he going to Gold Coast?
You'd have to go somewhere else,
Yeah,
right?
you're going somewhere else,
Yeah, you
yeah.
need to build your CV out by working for different coaches.
I mean, West Coast are in the assistants market.
But why would he go to West Coast? Do you know what I
You
mean?
hope to be
Well, I mean,
caretaker again and show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be a midfield coach or a senior assistant or something, wouldn't he?
But he's that anyway.
Yeah.
Like the clubs will be falling out of the tree to get their hands on him.
It's strange because their assistant ranks seem like stacked. I know they're going to make changes, but
They've
got
moved on a couple, yeah.
They got people who, Knights,
Knights.
who was a head coach, Schofield, who wants to be a head coach. But I don't know. They're obviously going to have to make changes. It just didn't work.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do.
No. Maybe. Well, North are probably going to change some assistants.
Well, they've lost a couple, haven't they? Well, they've lost Viney in whatever role he was in.
Viney or Ratton?
Both. I think.
Both.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think Viney's sort of like, I did my piece in the first year, overseeing some things. Yeah.
Brett Ratton said, I was only really planning to do a day a week.
Yeah.
And ended up coaching the side. So.
I think that's what Clarko's done.
Yeah.
Is anyone that was part-time,
Yeah, we can't.
you're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
Like, they need to get better. They don't need...
I mean, you spoke to them, but that break probably did like.
I wouldn't know.
You go in with like some ideas of how it works, and then you step away. And once he decided he was coming back in, he probably had good time to think about. This is
what's the best
how
approach. Yeah.
we're going to do it.
Last for me, Essendon Football Club. I don't think we've spoken about it either. Matt Rosa
Oh yeah,
taking over the list.
Dodoro, I did laugh about some of the things come over this. Dodoro has always been put up with this master list builder. It's like 25 years, 0 finals.
Yeah.
Like,
But also,
That's a hot seat.
one
Essendon
more
list
draft.
manager.
One more draft too, just to.
Sticking around.
They're picking up Ben Mackay.
Yeah.
He's nominated Essendon, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And they've got one more draft, and I'm like, if I was Rose, I'd be like,
You're out.
I'm in. Like,
Yeah.
what?
That's the
What's
same.
what's 6 months going to do?
So there's that one where he's like he's sticking around to help him, and I thought the same about West Coast when they announced the CEO change and Trevor Nisbet would hang around to sort of see him in. If you're the next guy in, you don't want that.
No.
Like you don't want you'd be like that much. Sorry, I am now the boss of this, whether it's CEO or list manager. This is I've been hired to run
So
this.
I think Rose is going to be getting the VFL structure organised and in order, and then moving to the next.
Be like, mate, no, I'll do the list bit.
It'll be one of those
sort
transition
VFL
things.
for me.
I thought Dodoro doing the draft was weird because Rose is essentially driving someone else's car next year.
Yeah.
Like it. Yeah.
So if it does turn to shit, who's taking blame for that one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Steve. And this is again not to harp on it, but why I thought West Coast needed a new list manager or something because then if he comes in later, you're behind the pace already.
But great
Because
for
you've
Matty
missed
Rosa.
But
He's
great,
such a good fella, bloody ripping fella.
So he obviously connection there through Vozzo.
Craig Vozzo,
who's the
CEO. Yeah, he was at West Coast for a long time when that was there.
Done good things appeal, Matty Rosa.
Yeah, no, he's a bloody good
appeal.
person. Good, I reckon he'll do a good job. Not a yeller or a screamer or a cunning bugger, just on a good
I think
fella.
we're starting to see more of those state league apprenticeships in whatever role it is.
Yeah.
There was a time there where everyone was just going straight from coaching to from playing to assistant.
Yeah.
Now there's people will be like, go run a thing and then come back.
Well, Barlow's the other
Mick
one.
Barlow's a perfect example of that.
Mick
I know
Barlow.
they got rolled on the weekend, but
How's the what's his midfielder? Who had like 30 and 6?
Sean,
Wow.
no.
I've been saying it forever. He's the best state league player.
Yeah, I remember. I remember you saying this.
No,
Yeah.
mate, I could search
Have you
a chat.
actually?
1,000% best state league player. But no, let's go get someone who played basketball and he's 203 centimetres and touched a ring when they were 14. Haven't kicked a footy for 8 years, but we'll go invest in him. That might be a good idea. Rather than get the bloke that's 26 and kick 6 in a grand final. No, the fuck, that won't
I
work.
remember someone described one of West Coast Inns as tall guy from the shops. Yeah, they said they
The
got that
basketball,
basketball and the
yeah,
guy
yeah,
was going
yeah.
to the shop, he worked that. And
So
then convinced him to
that's
come
off
along.
now, but he was.
Oh, it's not happening?
No, it's done. So he's trialled and he won't be offered a list
Okay,
spot.
so tall guy from the shops isn't getting a gig.
Yeah, so the mail is that a couple of waffle clubs are like, let's
Tall guy from the
see if
shops?
we can work this
Come
tall
in.
guy from the shop. So yeah, literally a retail store. Someone with connections to West Coast has walked in and said, knew his background or whatever, and said, come and trial.
In April, I saw him at Manor.
Really? Who is this in conversation
With
with?
Mick.
Yeah, right.
And then my armchair experts. Here we go. What date's this? I say, phrase, the best player in the VFL by a bit is a guy called Manor. Do you know anything about him? Where it be apparently the nicest fella you ever meet too.
right.
Like picks up the orange peels and shit like that. And I circled his game. He only had 30 and kicked 3-3 that day and had 9 tackles.
Quiet.
Bum.
Yeah, shit game. No wonder he didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You're probably out.
I'm out of
You
close.
jumped ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll jump into Hawthorn.
this must be your last one.
This is my last one. Kaczynski trade to the Tigers, so he wants
Yeah.
out. What do they ask for? Because the Tigers don't have anything.
No, it has to be first rounder.
But they don't have a first rounder.
It's not a first rounder.
Do they have a second rounder? Like, I don't know. I think they have.
Well,
a
they
whole lot
must
of
have a
assets.
future first because you have to use one every
you can
second
only use
year or
them
something.
yeah. But like, what do
But
they?
he's not
So
a
what do they
first
ask
bowler.
for? And who do they get in to cover? Do they? I already talked about the fact they need. I think they need another key down there, and now they just one back.
Is there a defender they might be able to do a trade for?
Well, yeah, you're fitting around Sicily. I'm
Like a
sure
big-
there is.
just a big gorilla.
They want Granger Barras to be a forward.
Do
He's
they?
not a forward.
He played forward in the VFL.
Yeah.
How'd he go?
Yeah.
A few goals here
No,
and there.
no,
I
he
can't
did-
say I had eyes on it.
No, like the last game I think he had no touches, like literally zero. I could be wrong. Maybe he had a handful.
I think he came back into the AFL side and then dropped again for the last game. And there was a patch before that. I don't know what his numbers are like.
Subs
but-
at VFL level? Maybe he was a sub. So Marvior Charles one who I'm not sure what they're doing at the Suns. They keep making noises like they'll keep him around.
had
but
14 touches in the last final he played in, and then
Oh, I forgot they were in finals.
yeah, they played box
Box Hill made a prelim.
had four touches against the Bulldogs. That's what it was. I saw.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So would you bring in someone like Charles, or is it too early in the build to do that? Is it just sort of?
No, because I reckon in their mind they might think that they could give finals a shot.
Well, I think we said that, haven't
I
we?
think
We're
they're
not
a
falling off our
10
seat
to
if they finish
14 team next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really like them. Their back end.
yeah.
Sorry? Excuse me.
You heard me.
Yeah.
Stand
mean-
by it.
Which one?
Who doesn't like
specifically?
Sicily?
Yeah.
Please.
The big Duke.
Anyway,
Big
that's enough
joke.
on Jacob Kaczynski.
This is going to be.
He's got a lot
the,
of. He's got a lot of airtime today.
Who's the Dan? No, what's his name? Dougal Howard. He might be the Dougal Howard of this trade period.
Yeah.
Jacob Kaczynski. All right, that's us for this week. We'll be back later in the week for the lead into the grand final. This has been the Hardball Gets AFL show, proudly brought to you by the Mazda BT50. You do you. We'll see you next time.